you, and you people answered it correctly. I feel that you people are listening more in the online mode compared to the classroom session. Is it so? Usually, when I ask questions before each class in the classroom sessions, Ranjit is saying yes. Okay. Classroom sessions, usually you will scramble through the pages of the notes. Uh, but yesterday, without scrambling through the notes, you were able to answer the question. So, good. That's good. It's good to have concentrated effort on online mode, because in online mode to have a concentration is pretty difficult because you have too many distractions. You are at home, there will be some things happening outside and you have to concentrate more. Okay, fine. So what are all the pests which we covered yesterday? Can anyone quickly unmute and tell? Anyone? Otherwise, I will ask someone to unmute. Abdul Hadi.
Yes, sir.
That's which we studied actually. We remember?
Drugs,
Huh?
drug storage,
Drugstore beetle. Yes, drugstore beetle, Stigobium panaceum. Then
rice weevil,
rice beaver. Yes, rice beaver. We just listed it out. We will be rice beaver completed. Yes, rice beaver completed or not? I don't know. Cytophilus
not completed.
not completed. Cytophilus or rice. Yes. Then few more one pest which infest in field and storage. Okay. Anyone else? Abrar? Abrar? Are you there? Adira PS? No. Whether you pay, whether you people are there or not. Nived? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Any pest which we have studied yesterday?
Cigarette beetle.
Yes, cigarette beetle, Lasioderma. Then
Uh, then coffee bean beetle.
coffee bean beetle. Yes, Araceus fasciculatus.
Then lesser grain borer.
Yes, Rhizobrotha dominica. Okay, fine, fine. That's good. Okay, good. Okay, we'll continue it today. We'll try to complete the insect pest of storage today. I will present it. Okay, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we will be discussing about the one of the major pests of storage all over the world. It's a pest of cereals mainly. Though it's a pest of cereals, you can find it in stored pulses and other commodities also. So though we consider it as a major pest of cereals, it has the habit of infesting pulses also. Now, usually one typical feature with the pulse beetle or Calosobruchus is that The pulse beetle does not infest split pulses, dals. What is the difference between a dal and a normal pulse? എന്താ വ്യത്യാസം? ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരാള് ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്താലും മതി പെട്ടെന്ന്. Dal will be broken, yes. That is split one. We are processing it and it will be split pulses. But the thing is that I told you this is a pest. Callicebrochus is a primary pest, and the primary pest prefers whole grains. So the brochids usually damage whole grains, and it won't damage split pulses or dals. So it not at all infest split pulses or dals, though it may infest green gram. It won't infest green gram dal. ചെറുപയർ പരിപ്പിനെ അത് അറ്റാക്ക് ചെയ്യില്ല. Even if you store it for longer time, pulse beetle doesn't damage it. But sometimes we may observe some insect infestation in split pulses or dal, and it's usually Sitophilus. So Sitophilus has the habit of attacking other commodities also other than cereals. And Sitophilus, we have 3 species, of which the major one is Sitophilus oryzae. The second one is Sitophilus granarius, and the third one is Sitophilus siamese. 3 species: Sitophilus oryzae, Sitophilus granarius, and Sitophilus siamese. So these 3 are the major species of Sitophilus, but usually we observe Sitophilus oryzae only. So it's a weevil with a snout, that all we know. It's 3 to 4 mm in size. You see, it's a weevil. It's a 3 to 4 mm in size. On the elytra, just a minute. On the elytra, you can see 4 dull orange spots on the elytra. Here, 1, 2, 3. So dull orange spots are. No, this is the better picture. Dull orange spots on the elytra, and we can see punctures all over the body. So this is a typical character of Sitophilus. 3 to 4 mm, dark brown to black in color, that you can appreciate. This is brown to black in color. Elytra with 2 dull orange spots. That means 2 each on each elytra. That's why 4 dull orange spots on the elytra. And then we have circular punctures on the body. So this is the morphological features: 3 to 4 mm, brown to black in color, elytra with dull orange spots, and thorax is with circular punctures. And this is a cosmopolitan destructive pest. Cosmopolitan, the word means that it is present all over the world, and it is a major pest of storage all over the world. And it is a primary pest. It is an internal feeder. It's a I forgot to mention it as internal feeder. So it's a primary pest. It's an internal feeder. Both adults as well as grubs damage, and it has the ability to start the infestation in the field itself, just like brochids. Though the typical example is brochid, Sitophilus also has the ability to start the infestation in the field itself. And it is usually a pest of cereals, and it has the ability to attack other grains also. So we have rice weevil Sitophilus oryzae, which is a weevil. It is 3 to 4 mm in size with dark brown to black in color. Elytra is having dull orange spots with circular punctures. It's all over. Distribution is all over the world. Primary pest, internal feeder, major pest of cereals, and both adults as well as grubs damage. Just like what we have discussed about Rhizopertha, this Sitophilus also convert the grain into shell, feeds on the internal contents, and the grains will be converted into shell. So the attacks looks almost similar. We will see boreholes on the grains. You can see it. This is the most common pest which you normally observe when you purchase rice, wheat or something. നമ്മൾ റേഷൻ കടയിൽ നിന്ന് നമ്മൾ സാധനങ്ങൾ മേടിക്കുമ്പോൾ മിക്കവാറും അതിൽ കാണുന്ന പെസ്റ്റ് ഇതാണ്. നമ്മുടെ വീട്ടില് പറയാ കുത്തൻ എന്നൊക്കെ പറയും ഇതിന്. So it's extremely common, especially in raw rice, പച്ചരിയിലാണ്. So I will ask a question: which rice is more prone to insect infestation, whether it is raw rice or parboiled rice? That is based on your experience, I am asking. Raw rice, raw rice. Whether boys has, I was about to ask, Ramjit has given parboiled rice. Ramjit, you are wrong. All others are given raw rice. Parboiled rice is usually resistant to insect infestation. So try to assist mother in the kitchen, Ramjit. So you come more up to know more about it. Okay. Raw rice is usually the one which is more severely infested with insect, especially Pseudophilus. But parboiled rice is less infested. Maybe the parboiling process makes the grain a bit harder. നിങ്ങൾ ഒന്ന് പച്ചരിയും പുഴുക്കലരിയും ഒന്ന് വായിലിട്ടൊന്ന് കടിച്ചു നോക്ക്. So raw rice, it is soft in nature, but parboiling makes the grain a bit harder. So that may be the, I don't know the exact reason, but that may be one of the reason why insect infestation is low in parboiled rice. So that is one thing. Pseudophilus, it's usually seen in raw rice. So see, the entire content will be fed. One thing which we can differentiate between the damage in between Rhizopertha and Pseudophilus is that the holes made by Pseudophilus is a bit circular. Here, while in Rhizopertha, the holes will be slightly irregular, though it is circular itself, but it is slightly irregular with Rhizopertha. But with Pseudophilus, it's almost a perfect circle. So that's one difference, but it hardly perceptible, but still textbooks say that. Coming to the next one, Capra beetle, Trogoderma granarium, belonging to the family Dermistidae. This pest usually we don't observe in our part of the country, especially in Kerala, because this is a pest which prefers extremely high temperature, dry temperature, temperature with low humidity and high temperature, dry conditions with low humidity and high temperature. It is favored by Trogoderma. So because of the high humidity prevailing over our situation, we usually don't get Trogoderma. Sometimes we get Trogoderma only when we have a lot of infested wheat or something from North India in FCA Godon. Otherwise, we usually don't get Trogoderma over Kerala. And this is a pest, as I told you, it is mainly in North India. And this is a pest which we contributed to other countries, because this is a pest of origin of India. And now it is present in almost all the countries. Because of the trade, the pest has been moved from our area to other countries also. And this is slightly smaller in size compared to other insects, 2 to 3 mm in size. Oval in nature, you can see it is oval in nature. The body is covered with very fine hairs. The larvae is also hairy. That is one typical feature of it. The grubs are also hairy in nature. The adult body is also hairy. Antennae is clubbed. You can see the clubbed antennae over here. Antennae is clubbed. So the other characters is that 2 to 3 mm in size, oval in shape, body covered with fine hairs, and the antennae is clubbed in nature. That you can see, antennae is clubbed in nature. And one more character I told is larvae or grubs is covered with hairs, and the grubs are extremely mobile in nature. It can move around, and one typical feature is that whatever you see in this grain, these are exuviae of the grubs. I think you remember what the term exuvia. What is exuvia? What is exuvia? Removed skin. Yes, it is the molted skin. Yes, good. So this is the molted skin which we see in all over the grains. If you see some molted skin all over the grain, you can you can be 100% sure that it is due to the infestation of Trogoderma cabrabita. So this is one typical feature of it. The larva is hairy, it is extremely active, and the exuvia is seen in the grains. And this is a pest that we have discussed it in the earlier first class itself, which can survive without food for several years. So that's one typical feature of it. It can, we told in the first class, it can survive without food for 4 years. And this is a external feeder. Remember, this is a pest which is an external feeder. This doesn't bore into the grain. It feeds the grain from the outside. I will check whether the damage symptom of grain is there or not. No. So remember, this is an external feeder, and this is a primary pest usually, but it is also considered as a secondary pest because the first instar grub doesn't have the ability to feed on whole grains. The first instar grubs usually feed on broken grains, but second instar onwards it starts feeding on whole grains. So some textbooks write it as primary as well as secondary pest, but mainly it is a primary pest because the grubs can, most of the stages of the grubs can feed on whole grains, but only the first instar grub can feed only on the broken grain. And only the grubs are damaging, adults are non-feeding. And this is a major pest of cereals. Though it is written as pulses, I am not sure whether, I have not seen, because Trogoderma is not a major pest in our state, and it prefers high temperature and low humidity. So these are the characters. I will repeat it again. Adults oval in shape, 2 to 3 mm in size, body covered with hairs, antennae clubbed. It's a pest which is usually seen in North India because it prefers high temperature and low humidity. Larvae is extremely active. Its exuvia will be seen all over the grain and can survive without food for several years. Grubs are covered with hairs. It is a external feeder. It is considered as a primary pest as well as a secondary pest because the first instar grubs can feed only on broken grains. So these are the characters of copra beetle, Trogoderma granarii. Coming to the next one, red flower beetle, Tribolium castaneum. I asked you to yesterday to check the old stock in your home. Has anyone checked it? Did you observe any storage pest in that? Anyone? Rice weevil, Reshma has observed rice weevil. Then now observe red flower beetle, Tribolium. Rice weevil is common. Small flies-like insects. Flies. What could be? There are no difference usually. I don't know. If you're able to take a picture of that fly, take it. Okay. Most of you have seen rice weevil only. But one another most common pest is that we normally observe in the household is Tribolium, red flower beetle. നമ്മൾ ഗോതമ്പ് പൊടി ആട്ടയോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റവയോ അരിപ്പൊടിയോ ഒക്കെ കുറച്ച് നാൾ വെച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ so it will be having a rice weevil. Just a minute, I will show you how it looks like. Uh, So I will show you how it looks like. So we are airing it over here. We have some experiments with that. So Tribolium, it is one of the best which is having cosmopolitan distribution all over the world. It is seen, and it is a best of mainly processed and milled products. Usually we find it in flows. That is the major commodity in which red floor beetle is seen. And if it is a secondary pest, അതല്ല, pulse beetle അല്ല, tribolium. അത് can you see this bottle? Yes or no? Yes, this is heavily, we are rearing it. This is a heavily infested brookid bottle. You can see a brookid over here. If you keep it for some time, all the brookids will come up. And see this. This is how a flow attacked by tribolium will look like. See, we are giving atta to it. The atta is extremely white in color because of the infestation of this. What is the now the color? Is it white? I don't know whether you are able to see the color or not. It is slightly yellowish in nature. Because of the infestation of tribolium, the color changes to yellow. And as we store it more and more, the color changes to more and more darker yellow in color. So you can see it over here, the insect lying over here. So this is the one. This is an external feeder because it is a secondary pest. This is an external feeder. It feeds from outside. It doesn't feeds on grains and all. So it is a secondary pest. It's an external feeder, and the grubs as well as eggs will be inside this flow. So that's the common damage which we normally see with the tribolium. Okay, so this is a pest which is very common in our all over the world. It is slightly longer in nature, 3 to 4.5 mm in size. See, as the name indicates, it is reddish in color, reddish brown in color, 3 to 4.5 mm in size, and elongate, and the antenna is clubbed in nature. That you can see. 3 to 4.5 mm. It is slightly elongate, reddish brown in color, and antenna is clubbed. These are the adult characters. 3 to 4.5 mm, flattened, elongate, reddish brown in color. The last three segments of antenna is clubbed. So you can see the three segments. Last three segments are clubbed. So this is I told you this is a secondary pest, but I have written it as a primary pest also because this is a primary pest of processed products, especially flows. It is a secondary, commonly it is a secondary pest, but it is also a primary pest of processed products because Cytophilus, Rhizoperta, Trogoderma, all these insects that cannot damage processed products, especially flow. This is the only insect which has the ability. It's not the only. We will discuss one more, which has usually attacks processed products. So this that is why it is also called as a primary pest. It is a primary pest of processed products. Just a minute. സാറേ ഞാൻ ക്ലാസ് എടുത്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. ക്ലാസ്സിലാണോ സാറേ? അത് നമ്മൾ അവസാനം വെള്ളാനിയുടെ ഇതാണ് എടുത്തത് സാറേ. ഓക്കെ, നമ്മൾ സാറിനോട് ചെയ്തു. ഓക്കെ, ഓക്കെ, ഓക്കെ. ഓ Okay, okay. HPLC, GC, peaks. Spingo is not the peak in the company peak. Or in carpenter, head carpenter. Okay, okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sorry. So the grubs as well as adults, both the stages are damaging. Grubs as well as adults are damaging, mainly on processed products. And as I told you, heavy infestation leads to yellow discoloration of the commodity, and there will be a disagreeable odor for that. If there is heavy infestation, if you smell it, it is smells bad. So we have a pungent, disagreeable odor for during infestation of Tribolium. So I'll repeat it again. It's a pest which is seen all around the world. Size is 3 to 4.5 mm, reddish brown in color, elongate, antenna is clubbed. It is mainly a secondary pest, but it is a primary pest of processed products. Both the stages, adults as well as grubs, damage processed products. And because of the infestation of Tribolium, the color changes to yellow and there is a bad odor for it. So this is, I don't think the picture is clear. The eggs, grubs, pupae and adult. Coming to next one, sawtooth grain beetle Oryzophilus surinamensis. This is a smaller insect but looks almost similar to Tribolium. The characters of the damage and all is almost similar to Tribolium castaneum. See, okay. This is 3 mm in size. Looks almost similar to red flower beetle, but the color is not that red. It is brown to black in color. The last 3 segments are clubbed. The size is small. Invariably, it is smaller compared to red flower beetle. But the typical feature is that its common name is sawtooth grain beetle. See the thorax over here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 serrations on either side of the thorax. That's why it is called as sawtooth grain beetle. That is the typical feature of it. Smaller in size compared to the shape and all. It is elongate in nature, flattened. But color is, it's not that red, brown to black in color. The antenna last 3 segments are clubbed, and the typical feature is that 6 serrations on either side of the thorax. So that is the typical feature of it. 3 mm, highly flattened, dark brown to black in color, 6 tooth-like serrations on either side of the thorax. This is a secondary pest. This is a secondary pest of almost all the commodities. Most of the commodities we will see Oryzophilus. Grains, grain products, nuts, processed food, flour, biscuits, dry fruits, oil seeds, cocoa, spices, etc. And as I told you, it is resembling Tribolium, but it is small, flat, and narrow in nature. And it causes roughening of grain surface. Roughening on grain surface means it doesn't, it is an external feeder. It is a secondary pest. It is an external feeder. It can bore in, it cannot bore into the grain. So what it will do is it scrapes the surface of the grain. Because of this scraping, it leads to roughening of the grain surface. It won't be smooth. The surface gets roughened. So this is a minor pest. Just understand about its character. That is 6 tooth-like serrations on either side of the body. It's a secondary pest. It's an external feeder. It's smaller in size compared to Tribolium. That's the only thing you have to remember. Then another minor pest, just listen to it. It's not that important, though I have given a bit characters about it. It is called as long-headed flower beetle, Latheticus oryzae, another insect belonging to the family Tenebrionidae. Long-headed flower beetle, Latheticus oryzae, belonging to the family Tenebrionidae. The adults are again smaller compared to red flower beetle, slender, flat, and yellowish brown. As you see it resembles tribolium. The only thing is that it is smaller in size compared to red flower beetle. It is 3 mm. Tribolium is somewhat 5 mm in size. The antennae, see antennae, if you remember tribolium, it is 3-segmented club. This is 5-segmented club. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Though the antenna is clubbed, the number of segments in that club is 5 in the case of long-headed flower beetle, Latheticus oryzae, but it is 3-segmented in red flower beetle. The head is comparatively longer, see, compared to other insects. That's why it is called as long-headed flower beetle. It's not at all a serious pest. It's mostly seen with tribolium. It's an external feeder, secondary pest. So that's the thing. Just remember about the scientific name. That's no more than sufficient with long-headed flower beetle. And there is again another minor pest, Cryptolestes ferruginous flat grain beetle. This is an extremely small insect. This is belonging to the family Limofloidae. So it is 1.5 to 2 mm in size. This is a pest. Usually I take students to visit FCI Godown during this practicals of this course. So there we usually find this insect very common all throughout the Godown. Extremely small in size, 1.5 to 2 mm, running very quickly all throughout the walls, floors, etc. It is flat and reddish brown. Have elongate antenna, that is one hair-like elongate antenna, that is one typical feature of it. It's a secondary pest, external feeder, feeds on most of the commodity, both adults as well as grubs, damages the grain. So just remember about flat grain beetle, it's a small insect. That's the only thing you have to understand. So we finishes the beetle pest. We go into the Lepidopteran pest. Only 4 insects are there in the Lepidopteran group which infest grain, and the first one is Anchumois grain moth, Cytotroga serialella. It belongs to the family Gelichidae. I will repeat, it is Anchumois grain moth. Scientific name is Cytotroga serialella, belonging to the family Gelichidae. I have to remove the first sentence. It's obsolete now. Though many of the textbooks says that it is present abundant in mountainous areas, we have Cytotroga infestation in our seed storage godown. Have you seen the seed storage godown of our seed technology department? Anyone? Near KU school? Yes. So in that seed storage godown, we have. I was not at all knowing that because we usually study that it is usually seen in temperate or cooler climates. But when Rosemary teacher and Madhu sir was telling that yes, we have Cytotroga, it was a surprise to me, and I checked it. It was Cytotroga itself, and we usually give work for C technology students with Cytotroga and all. So here it's the moths. We will discuss the characters about the moths. Moths hairs are fringed with hairs. See, the wings are fringed with hairs. You can see the hairs contain numerous. The wings contains numerous hairs, and the forewing it tapers towards the apex. The width reduces towards the apex of the forewing, and in the hind wing we have a finger-like projection at the tip. You see a finger, just like someone is pointing its fingers, just like that we have a finger-like projection at the apex. So that's the typical nature. Wings are fringed with hairs, the forewing tapered towards the apex, hind wing has a finger-like projection. That is the typical feature of this adult of this insect. And this is a pest of cereals. It doesn't attack other commodities. It's a pest of cereals, paddy, maize, and wheat. And again, along with brochids and Cytophilus, this is a pest which has the ability to attack the crop in the field itself. So this is a pest which can be carried over from field to storage. This is a primary pest. This is an internal feeder, and this is the only lepidopteran pest which is an internal feeder. All the remaining lepidopteran pests are mostly external feeder. This is an internal feeder. It's a primary pest of cereals. So it hollows out the grains and the grain will be filled with excreta. I think I have a picture of it. No, no, I don't have a picture of it. It bores into the grains and the grains will be filled with excreta. And because of the attack of this insect, there will be fecal contamination and the larvae will produce lot of silk and the scales of the moths will be present in the grains and the quality of the grain will be affected. And because of this infestation, the smell will be extremely bad. So that is another typical feature. So with respect to the characters of Cytodroga, it's a pest of cereals. The moth wings are fringed with hairs, forewings tapered towards the apex, hindwing with finger-like projection, primary pest, internal feeder. The larvae bores into the grains and the grains will be filled with excreta. It can attack the crop from the field itself and the grains will be extremely contaminated with scales, silk and fecal matter and gives a sickening smell. So these are the characters of Cytodroga. Cytodroga we normally don't see in milled rice. I have seen observed mostly in the case of raw rice alla, fresh harvested paddy, not rice. In paddy, we normally see the infestation of Cytodroga. Then comes rice moth. I think you might have seen rice moth Coursera cephalonica during your IPM practicals. Belongs to the family Galleridae. It is a secondary pest. Do you remember what is the medium on which we rear Coursera? What is the feed material which we provide for rearing Coursera? Anyone? No? It's broken sorghum. Remember, not sorghum, it is broken sorghum. We can give broken rice, pearl millet, bajra, but it is broken one, pearl millet. Okay. Whatever it may be, it should be broken because it is a secondary pest. It can't feed on whole grains. So it will be broken and then it will be provided as food. So it is a pest of most of the cereals as well as processed products. It is a secondary pest. It is an external feeder. What the normal thing that it will do is, when it is attacking flour or rice, what the larvae will do is larvae produce lot of silken material and this silken threads web together the grains and flour and the larvae will be remaining inside that webbing of grains and flours. So the typical damage symptom is webbing together of grains by the larvae. Larvae will be remaining inside the grain and the adult is pale grayish brown moth. That is the typical feature of it. And I told you it's a secondary pest. It is an external feeder. It webs together the grains and remains within the web and feeds from the outside. Again, there will be a foul odor for that. So Coursera, it's a secondary pest, external feeder, webs together the grains and remains within the web and feeds. So secondary pest and an external feeder. Coming to the next pest, that is almond moth, Ephistia cautella. Among the storage pests, this pest, it is also called as Cadra cautella. It is also called as Cadra cautella. This is the most royal pest of stored grains because this pest prefers the most costliest commodities. It prefers almonds, raisins, figs, etc. See, all the costliest commodities, almonds, raisins, figs, etc. So I had an experience a few 2 years back. one of my wife's cousins who is abroad. When he came, he gifted dried figs to all the relatives. So we also got a packet of dried figs, and once it was received, I started consuming it. I usually take it whole. I don't split it. അത് മുറിച്ച് കഴിക്കുന്ന സ്വഭാവമൊന്നുമില്ല. എന്ത് കിട്ടിയാലും വിഴുങ്ങുന്ന സ്വഭാവം ആയതുകൊണ്ട് അത് അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ ആ ഡ്രൈഡ് ഫിഗ് അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ ഞാൻ കഴിച്ചു. വൈഫ് യൂസ് ടു ടേക്ക് ഇറ്റ് ആൻഡ് സ്പ്ലിറ്റ് ഇറ്റ്, അത് തുറന്ന് അത് കണ്ട് ആസ്വദിച്ച് കഴിക്കുന്ന സ്വഭാവമാണ്. The first fig, dried fig, she opened, she found few larvae inside it. She kept it aside. Took the second one, opened it. It also contained larvae. Third one, all the figs were infested with this almond moth. So normally this is a pest of this dried fruits. So I still remember the professor which took this storage entomology course, that Dr. Mahawatra. Dr. Mahawatra once told in the class, if someone is vegetarian in this class, don't think you are 100% vegetarian. Every day you are consuming one or the other insect unknowingly. So because toad's pests are hidden inside the grains and commodities, we consume it unknowingly. So that's why he told, we had a vegetarian fellow in our class. He was Prasad, and the sir specifically told Prasad, Prasad, don't consider yourself as 100% vegetarian because unknowingly you are taking number of insects daily through your diet. So that's the case. Storage insects are present almost all throughout the commodities. We are consuming it unknowingly daily. So this is a pest which is common in dried almonds, raisins, figs, etc. This is mainly a secondary pest. It also has the ability to web together the grains, flowers, etc. And it remains within the web. So this is a secondary pest. And one typical feature with the larvae is that larvae, see, it is white to pink in color with black spots. See, it is a bit colorful compared to the other insects. White to pink in color with black spots. That is the typical feature of almond moth. Coming to the last pest, Indian meal moth, Plodia indopunctella. The Indian meal moth, one typical feature is the forewing is bicolored. The forewing is proximal part is cream in color, distal part is reddish brown in color. So with cream and reddish brown in color, the forewings are bicolored. It's not uniform, it's two color, cream as well as reddish brown in color. And the larva is creamy white in color, that you can see. Here you can see the bicolored nature of the moth, cream and reddish brown in color. See the larvae, it is extremely white in nature. See the webbing made by the larvae, Indian meal moth. I have not seen Indian meal moth yet. I have only studied it. It has the ability to web together the grain and it remains within the grain. And larvae, it is extremely active, roam freely inside in the grain. It is a pest of almost all the commodities, dry fruits, cereals, products, nuts, etc. Again, it is an external feeder. So with this, I am finishing off the insect pests of storage. One more thing I told you, just listen to this. I told you most of the in-store pests belong to the orders Coleoptera and Lepidoptera, and at the bottom I told there is one more order, that is Socotra. Sourcets or booklets. Have you seen sourcets during your taxonomy practical? Very minute insects. Yes, okay. So this Socotra, though it's not a pest which lead to any considerable loss to grains. No, it doesn't cause much loss to the stored grains. But it causes allergic reactions to human beings. That's why sources are becoming more and more important. Nowadays, people are extremely allergic to things. especially the Western people. They are highly allergic. So these sausages can cause allergic reactions. That's the major importance of sausages. And sausages, we may not be able to detect the presence of sausages in the grains. Any dried material, plant or animal origin, we have sausage infestation. The secondary plus it doesn't cause any damage as such to grains, but it can cause allergic reaction. That is the importance of sausage. Remember it because after say 5 or 10 years, in our country also these allergic problems are increasing day by day. So sausage may become an important because here we usually see sausage in most of the grains, but till now it's not that a serious issue, health issue, but sometimes it may. This is the picture of a sausage. Okay, I am finishing it off for today. So after the holidays, we will continue with the management that will take 2 classes. Okay. If you want to discuss anything, you can unmute yourself and discuss. എന്തെങ്കിലും പറയാണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒക്കെ പറയടോ. നിങ്ങളുടെ ഒച്ചയൊക്കെ കേൾക്കാൻ ഒരു കൊതിയുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇടയ്ക്കിടയ്ക്ക് നിങ്ങളോടൊന്ന് അൺമ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് എന്തെങ്കിലുമൊക്കെ പറയാൻ പറയണത്. ഞങ്ങൾക്കും ചെറിയൊരു മടുപ്പൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ഈ ലാപ്ടോപ്പിനോട് സംസാരിക്കുന്നതിൽ. I'd seen Savan. How is the election there?
Sir, election.
So yours in which on which date your election is there? I think it is 5 part election, isn't it?
Yes, sir. We were in the second phase. Yeah.
Second phase. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sir, why ants are not considered with the tax? So it is considered as a household pest. It's not as a storage pest. It is considered as a. We will come to ants. It is considered as a household pest, not in storage. We have 3 more other after storage. We have 3 classes. One it is veterinary entomology. Second it is medical entomology or public health pest, and the third one is household pest. And there we will discuss about it.
Sir,
Ah,
ആട്ടപ്പൊടിയൊക്കെ അങ്ങനെ ഒരു ത്രെഡ് ലൈക്ക് സ്ട്രക്ചർ പോലെ ആവില്ലേ?
എങ്ങനെ
കട്ട കുത്തിയിട്ട് ഒരു
ആ,
ത്രെഡ് അല്ല,
ആ.
കോട്ടണി ആ ഒരു ടൈപ്പ്.
കോർസേറിയ ആണ്.
ഓക്കെ
യൂഷ്വലി കോർസേറിയ.
ഓക്കെ സർ, താങ്ക് യു.
Anything else? You can see this, the number of broochids in this. We are rearing it. We need it in large numbers because we have some experiments with it. So you can see innumerable number of. If you are able to see that inside here, you can see the number of insects over here. So if anything else, you can ask.